Good morning. So today we're working the lung and large intestine meridian, which powers which is connected to the throat chakra. We are going to be practicing some postures that target the area and also doing a couple grounding and cleansing exercises and talking about something that might be happening with a lot of you. It's more of a personal topic for me at the moment of having our oldest survival mechanisms triggered during this period of self-isolation. So we'll be talking about that as well. In the beginning, we'll start out with taking 3 very specific kinds of breaths. So go ahead and sit in a comfortable position with your back and neck straight. You can place your hands down on your knees. So cleansing the lung meridian and the throat chakra, we're going to imagine on the inhale breath, we're drawing the pure prana in from the source. We're going to hold the breath and tuck the chin in to the throat and create the lock in the throat to illuminate the energy. And then on a very slow, quiet exhale, we're going to engage the Mula Bandha in the root to ground the energy and root it down into the lower body chakras. So go ahead and close your eyes. Empty out your lungs to start. Taking a moment to settle in, drawing your attention more inward. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold your breath, tuck your chin to your chest. You can plug your nostrils. Slowly release through the nose. Engage the pelvic floor. Inhale, head up. Feel your lungs hold. Tuck your chin. Plug your nostrils. Slow exhale. Engage the bandha. Inhale, head up. Fill your lungs all the way to the collarbone and hold it. Tuck your chin. Exhale. Engage your pelvic floor. Squeeze it out. And take a couple normal breaths, chin up, back to center. The affirmation for today, as we'll be talking about cleansing and releasing physically, mentally and emotionally, spiritually, is I release with gratitude all the old habits that no longer apply to me. I release with gratitude all the old habits that no longer apply to me. Go ahead and come into your first posture, which will be fish pose. Open your eyes and lay down, or rather bring your legs out in front of you and palms facing the floor. Bring your fingertips right beneath the hips and lower down on your elbows. Straighten your legs, lift up your chest, and stretch your chin away from your chest. Open your throat. Prop yourself up on your shoulders, like you're resting your head on your shoulders, like it's a pillow. And close your eyes. Softening your legs. Breathing into the throat and the chest, pressing your sternum up towards the ceiling. following the lung passageway as it goes, starting from the midline in the body and down to large intestine, back up through the lungs and diaphragm, the chest and throat, to the nose, and down the sides of the neck, tips of the shoulders, down a part of the armpit and inner arm, all the way down to the thumb. Feel the tugging you're creating in the area. 2 more breaths. And slowly to lower down, bring your chin in and roll down on your back for a couple of breaths. Relax. This class, we'll be spending some time working on the neck and shoulders, the chest, and the arms. Come up into a seated position. We'll transition into a wide-legged child pose with a twist. Open your knees wide, bring your big toes together, and walk your hands down to the mat. If this is hard on the low back, bring your knees more in, that's okay. Otherwise, the wider the knees, the more intense feeling you'll have in the hips. Thread your right arm underneath your left and lower down onto the edge of your right shoulder and rest your right temple on the mat. Be careful of the shoulder. If you need a pillow under your head, that can help you. Provide a little support. Take a breath here into the shoulder, side of the neck, all down the length of the right arm. Releasing as you squeeze through the chest. Staying with your affirmation, I release with gratitude all the old habits that no longer apply to me. On your next inhale, push into the floor with your left hand, release your right arm. Bring your right arm out in front of you and thread your left arm underneath the right. Rest your left shoulder down, left temple down to the mat. Deep breath into your left shoulder, neck, inside of the arm. Soften your face, your jaw, cheeks, your eyes. You may start to feel some pressure in your hips or the top of your feet, tugging in the low back. Inhale, push into the floor with your right arm and release your left arm. Bring both arms out in front of you for a few breaths. Staying connected to all the sensations in the pose. Inhale, push into the floor to come up. And go ahead and relax down on your back. Going into the next few postures. Massaging into the low intestines, we'll go into folded pose, similar to wind removing pose. Grab your elbows if possible and start to lower your back down and tuck your chin in and shoulders down. Make sure you're not struggling too much to maintain this position. You still want to try to relax as much as possible, so maybe grab a little higher on the forearms or the wrists. And let your belly rise and fall against your thighs. Bring your chin down just slightly, whatever is comfortable, to create slight pressure in the throat and neck. So I've spent the past 3 days doing a cleanse. This one has been a little more extreme for me, but one of my old survival mechanisms is to use food as comfort. Go ahead and bring your legs up the wall. Overall, I felt really, really good. I've been eating pretty unhealthy for a while now. I feel I went from pretty strict diet regime, or like a orthorexic kind of regime several years ago, and being underweight, to completely rejecting all diet and feeling a sense of rebellion against all diet. And then recently, after letting myself just do whatever, realized I didn't feel very well. So I decided to do a herbal tea water fast with other cleansing practices. Go ahead and come into plow pose. So this can be a part of the cleanse to focus on the energetic aspect of the chakras and the meridians. If you need to support your hips, place your hands against your low back and bring your feet out away from you to the floor. And allow your stomach to soften. Your organs can drop down and rest into the root of your diaphragm, releasing the emotional aspects tied to cleansing, the old survival mechanisms that once may have provided comfort, but may no longer serve us or be healthy. And this can be food, this can be distraction techniques or addictions. These all stem from imbalance in the throat chakra. If you feel comfortable here, you can bend your knees and go into snail pose. Be careful of your neck. You may need to place a towel, a thin towel, underneath your neck. Drop your knees over your ears. Shift your weight down into the shoulders. Eventually, knees drop down to the floor and you can grab your heels. Breathe into the back of your lungs. And if this is too much, simply come back up into plow pose. Be careful of your neck. 3 more breaths. place your hands on your hips. Bend your knees and place your knees on your forehead. Bring your heels in towards your hips. With the help of your hands, slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Straighten out your legs and completely relax for a few breaths. Staying connected to all the circulation, the prana, the chi, as it spreads and dissipates throughout the body. If you'd like, you can imagine a soft, metallic blue soothing your throat. The elements of metal purifying the lungs and helping transmute energy to the chakras. Go ahead and bend your knees. Hug your knees into your chest. You may want to lift your hips and bring them more to the left for a spine twist. Drop both knees to the right side. Arms out, chin to the left shoulder. Just a gentle spine twist for a few breaths. We store a lot of emotions in the sides of our bodies, so as you breathe, feel your intercostal muscles rise and fall, expand and contract. And just as your body naturally releases the exhale, like a small death, imagine all your old habits that no longer serve you falling and releasing as well. Return back to center. Pick up your hips and place them more to the right side of your mat. Bend both knees up and drop your legs down and chin to the right shoulder. Bringing out your spine. Staying connected to your breath, body, or going back to your affirmation. I release with gratitude old survival mechanisms or habits that no longer apply to me. Slowly come back up. Come back into a relaxation pose for a few breaths. Release. For the final cleansing breath, we're going to do a reclining nollie. So nollie is massaging and cleansing the internal organs by creating a vacuum effect in your body, your stomach, drawing, when you exhale, you pull your stomach in, pull everything up and relax your stomach. And then to get the rectus abdominals to stick out, just push down with your hands. And this is just one technique in nollie. So let's give it a try. Bend your knees and place your hands on your knees. Take a breath in. And exhale it out. Suck your stomach in. And you push against the knees. Another way you can do this is with your hands behind your head. You've probably done this without realizing it before. This technique works a little easier for me. Pull everything in on your exhale and then just lift up your head to get the abdominals to stick out. Do one more. Come back into relaxation. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Just as the heart chakra has to maintain its balance by grounding their emotional energy, the lung chakra has to ground into their physical body. So stay grounded today. Perhaps do some cleansing practices, and never force yourself into doing an extreme cleanse. Always feel like it's a natural thing your body wants to do, like when you just don't feel hungry. That's how I started, or I just didn't feel good, so I let my body lead the way. I love you, and I hope you're all well.